I'm building an Etsy scraper in Google Sheets, which will take data from an Etsy listing such as this one that includes title, price, and other data, and it will bring it into Google Sheets. And all I'll have to do is actually put the URL of the Etsy product, and it will pull that data into the Google Sheet. Now, for this part, this video, all I'm actually doing is checking to see if Etsy will actually respond when I make a call to Etsy from AppScript. This is the first step if you're going to build any kind of scraper or scrape any website into Google Sheets. You need to make sure that you're going to get a response from the site and that you can actually fetch content from the site. So we'll do those two things in this video. I have then a complete playlist with the other videos that go into the other parts of this process of building an Etsy scraper. So see the description of this video, but it's actually on a playlist. You might be able to play into that, but you can also see the description for a link to the next video. Now, let's get into this. First of all, the first step is to go over to Etsy, and I already did it, but I'll do it again. And you find a product URL and copy the product URL, come over to this check website response and paste the URL right here. Now, I already wrote in this function check response B2, which I'll just review quickly with you. Function check response URL receives a URL and checks to see if it gets a response when it calls a URL, which is held as var response, the variable response. URL fetch app.fetch URL get response code. So that fetches the URL, gets a response. If the response code is 200, that's a successful response, return success. Otherwise, it will return failure, it failed. So to activate this formula, all I have to do is put an equal sign in front of it. Now, you might be wondering why I wrote it in but didn't just bother putting the equal sign. It's because I don't want it to keep checking all the time. So every time that you run a function like this, it's making a call to a website. So I don't necessarily want it to just keep calling the website all the time, right? Or the URL. So I put the equal sign in when I'm ready to use it, and then it indicates success. I know that this process was successful, and I will just actually now take out that equal sign and leave this how it was. All right. Now the other thing is, I want to see if I can actually get web page content. So I'm going to put content here. And I'll set up another little box here, put it on right align. And this is to check to see if we actually get full content from the web page, because there are times when you can get a response but not full content. So now this will be function fetch URL content, fetch URL content URL. It will be very similar to the function up top. Right, but I'll do instead var response. Well, actually URL fetch app dot fetch URL. First that, then I'll do if response dot get response code equals 200, meaning if I have a successful response. Then I will actually get the content from it, right? So I'll do var content. In fact, I don't really have to make a variable. I'll just go ahead and return the content right away. So var response dot get content text. All right, so actually go ahead and extract the content, okay, the web page content from this, and I'll put a space here, from this call, okay? And so if it's successful, if you have a successful response equal 200, it will simply go and get the content, the web page content, and return it, and the function will end. Otherwise, and you don't really need the else because it's by default anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and put an else to make it more obvious. Else you will return null. Okay, else you will return null, right? and I'll click save. Null is an empty response, empty result. So now for fetch URL content, I will do the same thing. Equal fetch URL content of B2, the same URL. Press enter and see what I get. And this is actually what I want. So it looks like an error, and it is an error. But this is a good error, a desirable error, because it means that there's too much content. It's getting all the content from that URL. So much content that it can't even fit inside of a cell. So the text result of fetch URL content is now longer than the limit of 50,000 characters. You cannot extract that directly into a cell on a Google Sheet. It means that we are successfully able to get everything we need from the web page. All I have to do now is extract from that content various data such as titles and prices. So now what I want you to do is find the link in the description of this video. It is a link, it is a direct link that will take you to the Google Drive, shared Google Drive for this project. In that shared Google Drive, you'll be able to get files. You'll get, for instance, these notes. You'll get this as a PDF. In case you just want to review this, what I discussed in the Google Slides. You'll get it as a PDF. You also will get a copy of this Google Sheet so that you can go ahead and check responses and check content on other sites, websites. And I'll even take the code and separate it and put it in a Google document in case you want to just start a fresh sheet and just copy paste the code and start fresh in case it gives you problems with running the code. All right, so you're going to get all of that, and then also see a link if you want to actually join the email list for this project, which is a step further where you'll be kind of more part of the project. You can do that as well. And other than that, just keep following, and there's more videos. As I said, it's all part of a playlist. I am Mr. Mark of Mr. Mark Teaching. This is building Etsy scrapers and Google Sheets, public project again, and I'll see you around in another video, in the next video.